Ho, ho, ho everybody, I'm No Luck's Given, and Merry Christmas. Today, I'm going to be spreading Christmas cheer in Storybook Brawl by seeing how much gold I can give away in a single game. We're going to be using Trophy Hunter and Prized Pig, which will then have the ability Slay, give your opponent 1 gold or 2 gold after we upgrade that prize pig. I just thought this was a really good suggestion, fits the theme of Christmas cheer as well, so shout outs to Pro Wealth Frieden on YouTube or Wolfsrider on Discord who suggested this idea. And if you guys have fun ideas that you want to see me play out, feel free to leave those in the comments down below or on my Discord, and I'll check out any that are particularly sweet. But I definitely thought that this one was a really sweet idea, and I just had to try it. So I did put some stipulations on it, some rules on it for myself, just so that way I had some guidelines to follow, and also you guys could potentially have guidelines to follow if you wanted to try it out yourself. But you gotta play Trophy Hunter, that's rule number 1. You also have to buy Prized Pig whenever you find it, and that is until you have an upgraded Prized Pig. You gotta buy every prized pig that you see. You don't have to buy it immediately, but you at least have to lock it and then purchase it the next turn. Like, you don't have to sell things off or play a worse board on that exact turn, but just buy the prized pigs, and then you always have to play the prized pigs. You always have to have at least 1 prized pig on your board at all times. And then after you upgrade it, you've got to have that upgraded prized pig on your board until the end of the game. And then at some point, and this one is a little bit, it's not really a rule that you can follow. It's just, play to the Christmas spirit, play to, what you think is appropriate. You have to put that prized pig in front of a Baba Yaga at some point. You don't have to keep it there, but at least once, put that prized pig in front of a Baba Yaga and try to give your opponents a bunch of gold. So that's what we are going to be doing in this one. Those are the rules if you want to try it out yourself, and if anybody is able to do anything particularly sweet with it, if you want to record and send those clips over, maybe at some point, I should probably put a deadline on it. We'll say like 3 weeks, January 15th. Maybe I'll show off the sweetest one if a few people send me in some different options for clips. And that's always something that I've also thought about doing on this channel. Let me know if you guys would be open to that as well. But I know that a lot of you guys play Storybook Brawl and might have some sweet games that you want to show off yourself. And I definitely wouldn't be opposed to, in the future, talking over and going through, potentially with myself or with whoever sends it in, some of your own sweet games. So that way we can just focus on showcasing the absolute sweetest content. So that's an idea to think about as well. If anybody wants to send over some clips, we'll figure out something to do with them. But on this turn, we have not yet found a prized pig on 3.1, which is kind of a good thing. I will say I am trying to win, trying to do as well as I possibly can, and the better I do, the longer I stay alive, the more gold I'm going to be able to gift to the rest of the lobby. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it as well, and maybe allows us to get around some of the rules. It doesn't have to just be about maximizing the amount of gold you give at all times, but the totality of the gift that you are able to put together. And then on 3.2, we're going to pick up some polywoggles. I find another one after a roll here, and this is actually a pretty big moment this turn. I was looking for tier 2 treasures. I had the goats, I had the Cindy's, and now I'm going to triple these black cats, and we find Bounty Board, which is just a huge treasure on Trophy Hunter in general, though I don't actually make that much use of it in this game. I think that it is still really important, and it's going to give us a really big 4.0. It's even just great if we can use it for 1 turn. But once we find some prized pigs, then even if we're slaying and giving our opponent 1 gold, we're also giving ourselves 1 gold as well. So it does kind of balance out in that way. And for now though, we've got the Luckies and we've got all of these other slay characters, so we're looking to have a really big 4.0 here by getting some slays. First lucky fails, second lucky is going to connect though, as long as it doesn't get attacked into, and then my Princess Peep also going to connect, and that's actually enough to win this combat as well. So pretty silly one. It feels kind of bad to hit my opponent for 7 there because we had one character's tokens survive, but That's Storybook Brawl for you. I'm going to pick up these free characters, and then I'm also going to pick up Puffy, which has a nice little extra amount of stats while you're playing Trophy Hunter. I also pick up Friendly Spirit, and then I also want to pick up all of this stuff as well. So I am going to pick up as much of this as possible. The Fannies will be able to support the Luckies, so I'm going to sell out of those Polywoggles, buy all of that stuff, and once I've picked up 2 Fannies, I also kind of like the Greedy, and there's 4 things that we can sell right here on our bench. So I'm going to get rid of those, and then I'm going to buy the Greedy, and I will reorder this board a little bit. I'll put the Friendly Spirit in attacking position number 1, and then I'll go Lucky into Greedy in the last position. But we're definitely set up to make a lot of gold. We just made a lot of gold that turn. We have 5 new characters on the board, all level 4 characters that we didn't have last turn. So we're definitely pretty strong for this stage of the game. We are still going to lose this combat though and take a little bit more damage even. So we're down to 6. We're pretty low, but this is where we really turn some things around. Merlin's Hat, and we've got another triple of those Luckies, and we get pretty lucky there. Finding a Crystal Ball, that is now a ton of power. We've got Merlin's Hat plus Crystal Ball, so I'm feeling pretty good about what we're doing here. This allows us to cast and put some additional stats onto Friendly Spirit, which is definitely going to be a carry for us. And then I pick up a Fanny, and there is a prized pig in this shop as well. That's why I said just got to pick it up eventually. I might have fudged this a little bit here, but I'm going to pick up Deck of Many Things, and this was a really interesting turning point in the game. Once I've got Hat and Ball on Trophy Hunter, my mind is definitely thinking, okay, well, maybe I want to play Trophy Hunter Mages. So for that reason, I pick up the Deck of Many Things. Maybe I wasn't supposed to, and just hang on to the bounty board because that's so much gold though. We're also at 6. Bounty board doesn't help us this turn, where a Deck of Many Things could actually give us a little bit of additional stats to help us out here. So we do get to slay with that Friendly Spirit. That's definitely going to be really good for us, and we're getting a bunch of extra gold on the Greedy, so that's really nice for us as well. And we will have the stats to tie this combat and stay alive. So really sweet stuff. I'm going to pick up a Bossy because that's free, and then I will pick up a prized pig, and I'm going to slot that into slot 7. That's okay. If we get that prized pig surviving, like I said, it's more gold for us. That means more gold for everybody else later on. I am considering, though, as you can see, playing an additional Sporko and then playing that frontline pig. So I actually don't remember. Maybe I do go for a frontline pig here. Okay, it looks like I'm going to connect with the Sporkos, and at that point I can move some things around. I'll pick up a Moonsong Horn. That's a little bit more stats, and then Hermes Beans to grab that first attack. That's also a sweet one. And then I'll throw that pig back in the back line where it belongs. But a really strong board now on 4.2. We've got Crystal Ball plus Merlin's Hat plus a Horn for some additional stats. And now it's time to start the gifting spree, and you play that prized pig. Maybe, not gifting spree as we put it into slot 7, but it's there. It's there. We're following the rules at the very least. That's why I felt like I had to make rules, because otherwise I was going to break them. And prized pig gets to survive here. We don't have to break the bank on this one, so we'll have 2 extra gold. And like I said, that'll allow us to gift some extra gold later. Now, one thing I didn't think about, basically until I was like ready to hit record here today, I didn't really make use of Copycat. That is another way that you can give a bunch of gold to the rest of the lobby. Copycat plus prized pig, again, to just grab additional last breath triggers of that prized pig. But I think that that's fine. We don't have to go super zany on Copycat. Maybe I think about it here. And then there's also another monster book and some other stuff here. Not really super concerned with the mages. There's so many things that I have to do. I've got to play all the prized pigs. I've got to pick up some mages to make this hat ball stuff work. We're balancing a lot of different, balls right now. So as we balance with this crystal ball, there we go. So we've got a lot on our plate, and we're up against Horde Dragon, so I did want to try to be strong this turn. Friendly Spirit is going to slay and stay, and so is Tweedle there. So really sweet stuff. We've got a lot of power this turn, and it looks like we will have enough to take down my opponent. We might break into the prized pig. No, their Queen of Hearts attacks and trades, though Ancient Sarcophagus takes out my prized pig there, so we don't quite get to keep it. I do sell off the Copycat here, pick up a Kitty Cup Purse. Like I said, we're not going to worry about Copycat in this game, though. That could have been sweet. That could have been something silly to focus on as well, though not for this one. Maybe next time. We still don't have any Royals to cast Queen's Blessing on, so I won't worry about that. And then all of my other spells, well, except for Feed the Kraken, all of my Pump You Up spells are going to go onto Friendly Spirit. That's like our main carry right now. If we can get this Friendly Spirit to slay, if we can triple that Friendly Spirit, if we can put a Baba Yaga on the Friendly Spirit, that's really going to be what allows us to go the distance in this game. Not really even worrying about the Chupacabras here either, though we are going to get some nice stats here to round out the turn, and then we'll finish off with a Shrivel. My opponent is playing Sadrak, so they will get first attack. Let's see if they first attack into my Friendly Spirit. They do, of course. So now it's just Tweedle to go the distance, and Tweedle is quite large. I'm double supporting it there with Sporko and Fanny, so kind of an interesting little tempo dwarf play here, because obviously we're not going to stay in these things forever. And then here we have the Baba Yaga, so that's really sweet. Now I'm probably going to move into the Sporko of it all. I'm going to the end on my monster book, just because I got to the end something, and then I get to make some triples here. So go for the prize pig first in case I find treasure map. That way I can grab a tier 6 treasure here. And 9th Book of Merlin, super sweet on Trophy Hunter. Pandora's Box, super sweet across the board, but you gotta look at how close the rest of this lobby is to dying. I think we should just take the Singing Sword. It's 15 extra attack. That makes you so much more likely to slay. And then I'm going to go for it. I'm going to frontline this prize pig. We've got the Baba Yaga shenanigans going on. We could go for a good boy here. I think that could be sweet too. But I'm just going to throw a little bit more stats onto Friendly Spirit and hope that Baba Yaga plus Friendly Spirit is enough to keep us alive. And then we'll see how much gold we can give away here with this prized pig as well. And Friendly Spirit does look like it is going to get the slay. It does get attacked into, but it survives thanks to those stats we threw on it at the end, and Prize Pig gets the bonus stats. So we get to give away a ton of gold this turn. Prize Pig slays and stays. And then we will start to farm down my opponent's Juliets with my backline, and we keep this Muerte alive. We just gave them a bunch of gold. We probably could have killed them. If we just played our best board and cut the prized pig, cut all the shenanigans, I think we could have killed my opponent there. But instead we gave them like, I don't know, 10 gold at least, and kept them alive. So there we go. Definitely playing in the Christmas spirit here. I'm going to pick up another Baba Yaga, of course, because that is super sweet. And then I'll throw a few more stats onto the Friendly Spirit. And Empress P is really, really sweet. I got to lock onto that one as well. Especially on Trophy Hunter, you don't even need anything else. You just need Baba Yaga and Empress P, and it's a combo all by itself. Now, I am really curious if that Muerte is going to be able to turn some things around with the gold that we just gave them. I think that would be really fun. And we're going to be fighting up against Mrs. Claus here. Mrs. Claus video tomorrow, by the way, for Christmas. This is going out on Christmas Eve. My opponent declines the free gold off the prize pig. They're going to attack into that. We do have a large Fanny, and luckily that large Fanny is going to be enough to keep us alive here and take out Mrs. Claus. So we are now on to the top 3, and we get to fight up against the ghost while that Muerte that we gifted a bunch of gold to is going up against the Horde Dragon. So we'll see how they fare. I do think I'm going to backline this prized pig while we fight up against the ghost, and then we get to throw some or upgrade this Fanny potentially, looking for some more Baba Yagas. Not quite going to find it there, and then I will finish off this turn with Reckless Wager. Grab some additional gold for myself. I am just going to backline this prized pig, like I said, and I think that that's okay. I think that we can just try to get as much gold for ourselves. We've been very generous. Let's take some gold for ourselves, and while we farm up against the ghost of Christmas Past here. Though I guess if it was Mrs. Claus, it would be a much better ghost of Christmas Past. But this one is Merlin, and what do they have for us? Not too much. We're going to get that slay in with Friendly Spirit. That gives us a huge prized pig, also a huge greedy, so that's nice. That greedy will be able to survive. And we grab a bunch of bonus gold here, 8 bonus gold going into the final combat, and it's up against that Muerte that we kept alive and gave that gift to last time we saw them. So we'll see if we wind up gifting them yet again, or if we can take them down. Small mistake here, should have cast the spell before I went for the tier 5 treasure, because I knew there were tier 5 treasures that I'd potentially have to toss the hat for, and Evil Eye, I mean, you just gotta do it. So we do get to grab an Evil Eye here. That is a pretty sweet pickup, and we'll see what else we can add to the board. I do want to try to grab as much additional stats as possible, and another Empress P is pretty sweet, and a Good Boy. Okay, we might have to backline this prized pig. We just have too much sweet stuff right now, and I want to play all of these things. So this is a little bit tricky, how to actually formulate the board, and what I eventually decide to go for is let's put Good Boy in slot 1, and that way Good Boy dies and my other characters can slay. I'm not going to worry about my first attacking character slaying. It's Good Boy setting up the slays for my other characters. And then my opponent rewards me by pigomorphing the Good Boy. I get a little bit of lag there, but they pigomorph my Good Boy after everything we did for them. And we're not going to be able to slay with any of our characters. We get a huge Sporko, but my opponent has 2 huge Court Wizards, and I think we gave them too much gold to work with. We're going to wind up dying to that Muerte there. They had Muerte, Good Boy, pretty good stuff. We did have a 54% chance to win this combat, but my opponent is going to get the win, and I was a little bit disappointed with how it ultimately ended, but you know what? Ultimately, I think that this is in the Christmas spirit as well. We gifted my opponent not only a bunch of gold, but in the end, a win as well. So that is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Happy holidays. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.